I've learned recently, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Salutations and welcome back to the farm for another pantry tour organization type of video. And I've invited you here into my pantry in my 1902 farmhouse as I get everything organized. And I had shared earlier that if you were to ask me what's for dinner, I'd say I don't know, because I don't know what I have in my pantry because it's just so disorganized. You can see I've got this rack behind me organized. I'm feeling really good about it. But everybody keeps saying, but Country Mama, you're supposed to be showing what you're eating out of your pantry for the entire month of January and February. So I wanted to show you what I've put together as some week by week bins that I'm going to be eating from while I'm organizing my pantry. I've got my meals all set aside here and ready to go, but I will continue using these bins, putting meals together so that they're handy. Should I become sick? Should my husband need to say, you know what, I'm going to pull a meal that's already kind of organized for me? It's all right here. So I'm going to bring the camera down. I'm going to take everything out of this bin and put it on the tray in front of me, and then we'll see if I can get it all back into the bin. So join me. Okay, I've taken everything out of the bin, but right on top of the bin, I have noted here what is inside the bin for easy reference. So this paper right here, as soon as you open the bin, you'll see that inside the bin are 7 dinners and 2 desserts. So this is enough to last us a week of dinners, and there'll probably be leftovers there. And then I have a list here. I'm going to just set this right inside so it can be read from the outside. And then I've got a list here of what the dinners are and everything you're going to need to complete each dinner. So one by one, we're going to put them back into the bin and see if I can get everything to fit. So number 1 here on my list is spaghetti with meat sauce. So in this bag right here, I already have everything needed to put together a thorough spaghetti dinner. I have my noodles. I have some TVP crumbled meat. I have crushed red pepper and Parmesan cheeses. I put together a packet of freeze-dried butter with herbs so I can make some garlic herb butter to go on fresh baked bread. And inside this packet as well, I have a 3-cup bundle for my bread and the parchment paper to cook it on, and a packet of yeast. So I have everything I need there to make garlic bread for my spaghetti. So I'm going to pop this in here. But then in addition to that, I also have, pardon my reach here, I have a can of spaghetti sauce. So that's going to go in here. I'm also going to need canned tomatoes. So somewhere in here, I have canned tomatoes. Here they are right here. Italian style diced tomatoes. I'm going to pop that in here as well. I have everything I need in here now to make the spaghetti, the noodles, the meat sauce, and the garlic bread. Let's move on to dinner number 2, and that's chili and cornbread casserole. Here I have a jar of my homemade chili that's been canned. I'm going to pop that in there. And here I have some Jiffy cornbread mix and everything I need to make a cornbread casserole. The recipe is tucked right inside. And it says here on my instructions that for that cornbread casserole, I'm going to need a can of corn right here and a can of creamed corn. So that goes into the bucket. Dinner number 3, macaroni and cheese and olives, one of my husband's favorites. I have 2 boxes of mac and cheese. Like I said, it's going to be like Jenga. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all of this to fit back in here. For our mac and cheese dinner, we're going to need a bag of cheese with butter powder. And I've got that right here, all marked and labeled and ready to go. We're going to need a can of olives right here and evaporated milk. One thing I always say is you should always have evaporated milk stored in your long-term pantry if you happen to have any situation, whether it is a blizzard or supply chain issues, you can't get to the store to get milk. Evaporated milk is a great thing to have on hand, and that's going into our bin here. Next on the list is burritos. I always like to have a supply of tortillas in the freezer, so that will be no problem. And for our burritos, we're going to use a can, let me reach it here, of my homemade Fiesta beans. Delicious having canned beans at the ready. We're just going to prop this right here in the corner. We also need Spanish rice. So right here I have an entire gallon-sized Ziploc bag, and I have a packet of Spanish rice. I have taco sauce, and I have everything I need for it. Now I have some other ingredients as well, and let's talk about that now. Now I put on here, add chopped onions if we need onions, but I've got everything I need right here to make some really nice burritos. But inside this packet, I've got another thing of TVP meat, and that says that's for manwiches. So here I've got my manwich sauce right here. We're gonna just pop this in here. Now I have everything I need to make manwiches for dinner. And of course, if I have the availability to make some biscuits or have some hamburger buns, what's really nice is I'm also able to add to my list on my spreadsheet what's needed for this week. Maybe we need to just pick up buns or make an extra loaf of bread. I've got everything I need right here. To go with the manwiches, I want to add corn, so I'm going to put another can of corn in. And if we happen to have some French fries or tater tots in the freezer, we can use those with that as well. And it's listed here on the sheet so we know what do we need to go shopping from in the freezer to make this work. Next, we have fettuccine alfredo with chicken and peas. Yum. So here I have a pre-made packet that's all ready to go from Knorr. It is the fettuccine alfredo. I've added some TVP chicken nuggets there in the back. That's going to go right in here. Let's see if I can get that to lay flat. Actually, I'm going to put it on top of my chili here to try to protect my jar. And then I have a jar of Alfredo sauce because you can never have too much sauce. I like having a little extra there. So we have everything we need for fettuccine alfredo. Oh, we need peas. And here is our peas. These are just going to go right into our bucket here. You know, one thing I forgot to mention for our burritos, and I just noticed it here, and I didn't fully read everything, but I have it right here. I have a can of enchilada sauce, so we can pour that on top of our burritos. And I also have a jar of some white queso cheese that I bought a while back for 75% off. Let's get it into something where I'm actually going to utilize it instead of it just being on the shelf. That's going to go right there. I also have on my list to make a KFC bowl, a DIY KFC bowl. My husband loves the KFC bowls. I have some chicken patties here in the freezer, and it's notated on my list to get those out and get ready. I have a package in that one bag that I showed you earlier of some peppered gravy. I've got biscuit mix right here, so we can make our own Cheddar Bay biscuits to go with it. And then an extra can of corn to go with the KFC bowl, because you have to have that on a KFC bowl. So let's do a little bit of shifting here. So our lid will go on. So those are our dinners. Let's see. Spaghetti, chili and cornbread, mac and cheese, burritos, the KFC bowl, manwiches, and fettuccine alfredo with peas. Now I've got two desserts that are needed here. And so for our two desserts, I have a yellow cake mix right here. And with that yellow cake mix, I have a can. Do you guys remember when the zero sugar strawberry cream Dr. Pepper was a big hit? Everybody was taste testing it. Well, I grabbed a 12 pack and I decided it really wasn't for me. But I'm going to mix that with my cake mix, because you can bake a cake with a cake mix and a soda pop. You don't have to have the oil and the eggs and everything else. So that's going in here. One more thing is I do have a brownie mix. So I put on here that the instructions are here on the outside of the packet. If we have water, egg, and oil, great. If not, you can substitute mayo for the egg or applesauce. I've got everything right here written down so I know we can put together some brownies in a pinch. I'm going to put my menu right here on the top, and let's grab the lid and see if I packaged it successfully. Cross your fingers. This is going to go right on top. Oh, it's a tight fit. But there we go. I have an entire week's worth of dinners and two desserts right here in my bin. So as I mentioned earlier, not only do I have, I think 5 or 6 of these already put together, and I've not inventoried this in my regular inventory for the pantry. This is in addition to. We're going to be eating out of these over the weeks coming up as I get my pantry put together and as we do our best to not do any shopping at all from the grocery store for January and February. We're going to utilize what we can right here. And this is proof in the pudding. Again, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I'm not doing that anymore. Right here, I've got my plan for the next week's worth of meals. And I've got several more bins to choose from when I need them. So tell me, what would you put in a bin if you were putting together a week's worth of meals like this? Make sure you let me know in the comment section below. So that's it from the farm today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, share it, and I will see you next time here on the farm where we do our next chapter in our pantry organization and our pantry challenge. Until then, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.